it was going to come at 1, and then it was going to come at 4. And you know what time it showed up? 6 o'clock. I drove to the movie in that really awful rainstorm last night. Fortunately, traffic wasn't heavy and wasn't crazy. So, you know, there's what it was. And then by the time we left, it wasn't bad at all. So, or it had stopped when we left the movie. So, yeah. And it may come again today. There's a huge storm out in the Gulf and another big one in San Antonio. And so if you are out in it and it does show up, because you know how weather is in Houston, be careful. Because last night was a little scary. All right. So it is May 9th. Our title is Who Are God's Teachers? ? Which I didn't put on the title today. Our author is Helen Schueman, and this is from A Course in Miracles, 1975, Manual for Teachers. So, I'm in passing familiar with Course in Miracles, but I've never done it. So, who are God's teachers? A teacher of God is anyone who chooses to be one. Their qualifications consist solely on this. Somehow, somewhere, they have made a deliberate choice in which they did not see their interests as apart from someone else's. Once they have done this, their road is established and their direction is sure. A light has entered the darkness. It may be a single light, but that is enough. They have entered into an agreement with God, even if they do not yet believe in God. They have become a bringer of salvation. They have become a teacher of God. They come from all over the world. They come from all religions and from no religion. They are the ones who have answered. The call is universal. It goes on all the time, everywhere. It calls for teachers to speak for it and redeem the world. Many hear it, but few will answer. Yet it is all a matter of time. Everyone will answer in the end, but the end can be a long, long way off. It is because of this that the plan of the teachers was established. Their function is to save time. Each one begins as a single light, but with the call at its center, it is a light that cannot be limited. And each one saves 1,000 years of time as the world judges it. To the call itself, time has no meaning. And all I can think of is in Buddhism. So Buddha, regardless of what you think, Buddha is not God. Buddha is the enlightened one, and there have been several of them. And what Buddha is one who has become enlightened, and they now choose at the end of to step off the wheel of samsara, the wheel of incarnation. They step into nirvana. There is a step called the Bodhisattva, and Kuan Yin is one of them. And basically the Bodhisattvas is the teacher. They have become enlightened, but they choose to stay on samsara, which is the wheel of reincarnation, in the material realm. They choose to stay to help everyone reach enlightenment. They choose to keep coming back to help their fellow, their fellow beings to reach that enlightenment. They are that light. And so I like what Helen said. They may not even know that they've answered the call, but they have answered the call. And it's simple. Somewhere, somehow, they have made the deliberate choice in which they do not see their interests as apart from someone else's. They recognize the unity. They recognize the unity of all living things. They recognize that we all come from the same source. And that's not bound by religion, and that is not bound by culture, and that is not bound by, it's not bound by anything. All it says is, you know what? There's one life. So anyone, according to her, anyone who recognizes that unity becomes a teacher of God. because they live their life in such a way. And notice how she called them teachers, not preachers. They live their life in such a way that others are drawn to them. Others are drawn to them. They're like, what is it that you know? I want to know what you know. And so there's a difference between a teacher and a preacher. And I'm not saying that preachers can't be teachers, but I'm saying there's a different call there, according to her. And probably a whole lot of preachers are teachers. A whole lot of them are, because they've answered that call, but they've just answered it within a framework, a cultural framework, to become a teacher. But you don't have to be a preacher to be a teacher. In fact, probably some of the most effective teachers that you have met are not preachers. They are people who live their lives from that unity, from that oneness, from the loving heart. When I talk about kindness, love, and compassion, that's what they live from. They recognize that what I do for myself, what I want for myself, I want for you. They recognize that when I hurt you, I hurt myself. So, that's what she's talking about. Our interests are not apart. Our interests are not apart. We are one. And I love that she says they come from all over the world. They come from all religions and from no religions. Some of the more interesting people I've met in this world are atheists. With the best example being the magician, Penn and Teller. And his argument for it is pretty, it's like, I don't need some great sky being to keep me from doing bad. I don't want to do bad. I want to do good. That I don't need something, the threat of punishment to keep me doing good. That's a heck of a teacher, Okay, yeah, his attitude about God is, but then, our attitude about God is, because we don't believe in a great sky, a great sky being either. We see God as the back of everything. We see God as that spark of life that we all have. So who are God's teachers? All right, Helen Schueman, anybody and everybody, anybody who recognizes the unity. It means that you can be a teacher and you don't need anything more than to recognize the unity of life. That's it. And live from that. Because when you do live from that, you move differently in the world. You speak differently. It's pretty incredible. So, all right. And I like she says that they have entered into an agreement with God even if they do not yet believe in God. They have become a bringer of salvation. They've become a teacher of God. When you recognize, once they have done that their interests are not apart from any of it. Once they've done that, their road is established and their direction is sure. A light has entered into the darkness. It may be a single light, but it is enough. And that's one of those things that there's a meme that goes around on a regular basis that talks about how many candles one single light can light and never be diminished in their own light. That's being a light. A light lights up the darkness and can light so many other lights, and it takes nothing away from the light that has done the lighting. And that's what being a teacher is. And it's not, like I said, it's not about being a preacher. It's not about going and telling people. What it is about going and living your life in such a way that people can't help but being drawn to you and go and wanting to know what you know. And they won't necessarily ask questions. What they're going to do is they're going to look at you and go, well, this is how this person moves through the world. Let me try that. This is how this person speaks to the world. Let me try that. It's one of those things where with children, they watch what you say, but they watch what you do. That's the kind of teacher she's talking about. They're not listening to your words. They're watching what you do. They're watching how you move through the world. That's the kind of teacher she's talking about. Are you kind to small children and animals? Are you kind to people that can do nothing for you? Are you compassionate with people who don't deserve it? Says, I think it's Richard Rohr that says, it could be Thomas Merton too. It's not our job to judge whether or not they're worthy. It's our job to love them anyway. That's a teacher. That's a teacher of God. All right. So the mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to recognize that our interests are not apart from anyone other, to recognize that unity, to become that kind of teacher. Whatever else you do, and you don't have to become a minister and you don't have to become a practitioner, but as she says, it saves the world 1,000 years. So recognize the unity. Recognize that our interests are not apart. That in the end, we all want the same thing. We all want to be loved. We all want to be loved. We all want to be told we're okay. It's a heck of a mission. Okay, I'm sorry. I can feel the congestion right here, so I should probably wrap this up. So you have your mission today, should we choose to accept it. The second mission is the same one I give you every day, which is part of being a teacher, to do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself. In Bodhisattvas, look it up. Don't ask me to spell it though. It's an interesting concept, and Kuan Yin is one of them. And there's various spellings of Kuan Yin, so if you get close, you'll come up with her. She was one of Ruth's favorite. So, because she was loving, kind, and compassionate, she was the definition of compassion. And practice on what I'm asking you to do is practice on yourself. And I ask you to practice on yourself for 3 very simple reasons. Self-care. Okay? Practice on yourself. You are your own best test subject. You get immediate feedback. Practice on yourself because I'm encouraging you to create a habit, a first response. No matter what happens in the world, you can respond lovingly, kindly, and compassionately. And the third reason is because you're a beloved child of God and you deserve it. You deserve your own love. You deserve your own kindness. You deserve your own compassion. I'm encouraging you to create a habit, a regular spiritual practice of going to the source of your own being, which is the source of infinite love, the source of infinite kindness, the source of infinite compassion. Go there every day so that when the road gets a little rough, you already know the path. Your feet can find that path in the darkness. Okay? That's why I ask you to do it every day. Every day. All right. And it's easy. Take a deep breath before you speak. Take a walk. Take a nap. Take a day off. Make room for play. Make room for joy. No matter what is going on in the world, you deserve joy. No matter what is going on in your life, you deserve joy. But you have to make the effort to make room for it. All right? And I say eat dessert first. When you do that, you make room for joy. A moment of joy of dessert. Okay? So it's as simple as that. I am not hiding the fact that I'm talking about self-care. I shout from the rooftops about self-care. I believe in self-care. If you want to live a life of service, you have to take care of yourself first. So, practice on yourself. Now, also, as always, just little tips to help you get through the day. To do something to engage your mind and your body, unless it's your day of rest. Please drink plenty of water. Hydration is super important. And what the water comes in, that's up to you. You know, it can be flavored water. I'm not opposed to that. I just want you to hydrate because your brain works better when it's hydrated. I also encourage you, as I always do, to get early in your day bright light. We're facing like a week of rain. There is no sun, although the clouds were thin enough a moment ago that there was some. But like when we left last night at 6 o'clock, It looked like the sun was going down. It was so dark. So, artificial light works too. What I'm talking about, it's called a circadian rhythm. It is a natural hormone cycle that early in your day on your face, and I'm talking 5 minutes, it doesn't even have to be long, of that bright light on your face does help to reset those hormones, to stimulate those hormones into a natural pattern, which will help you have more energy during the day and you'll sleep better at night. So try it. Trust me. And if you don't, you can look it up. It's science. It's all over the internet. So, feel free to look it up. And then as always, as my quote from Ernest Holmes, open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you, you do live in heaven right here, right now. It's all around us all the time because it's all made from the same source, right? I was reading something. Because I was reading chapter 8. It was talking about the kingdom of God. Seek ye first the kingdom of God. Well, where do you seek that? It's within you. Jesus said that. It's within you. Go to the source of your own being. Go to God. Go to that teacher. I mean, Jesus is called the master teacher for a reason. There are a whole lot of really good teachers, and Jesus was definitely, if not the best, one of the best, probably, the best, because he came to teach love. He came to teach that the kingdom of God already exists within you. So when we open the windows of our soul, when we allow our humanity to shine through, to take on the flavor of the divine that we are, when we are willing to look around the world and see that unity, not the uniformity, but the unity of all life, the spark behind all life. It's a superpower. Heaven is a state of mind. It's a state of consciousness. It's not a place, but it can be any place. So this is why I encourage you to practice. And you can always take Emma's advice. Look for the good and praise it. Gratitude will get you everywhere. All right. I'm going to, all right. I got all discombobulated yesterday and got all out of order, which is fine because there is no order. I can do this in whatever order I want, but I'm going to go back to a more normal pattern today. We are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark on the social medias that we are on. I am the running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. We've been kind of leaning into encouraging you to subscribe to the YouTube channels because when you do that, it notifies you when we put new videos up. So that way, if you're watching for this thing called You, which I've started, it'll notify you when the next chapter is up. So on the YouTube channel. And if you subscribe and do that notification thing on Facebook, it'll tell you when we go live. Because we're live minimum twice a day. So on this Facebook channel, sometimes 3 times. All right. Yeah. And if you want to know what's going on with the center, email info@creativelife.org. That will get you on the constant contact. Which comes out at least once a week, unless he's got something else, something that is breaking news for us. So email info@creativelife.org if you want to get on that. Those hot links are hot. If it says click here now, it'll either take you right to the information you want or to the person that can help you get it. Okay. I guess I'm at the part where I get to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, an awesome day, a stay dry day, a watch the weather day, a dance in the rain day, a get stuff done day, in my case, terrific Tuesday. Today, it's Tuesday, and we're going to have a terrific one. A good day. And if that's too much pressure, simply have a day. You are enough just as you are. You are a beloved child of God in whom God is well pleased and well represented. As I like to remind you, you are a brilliant light. You are a divine spark. You are God in action. You are spirit in motion. You are a godling in whom God is well pleased and well represented. And no light is too small. No light is too small. Sometimes I call us divine splinters. Because it kind of speaks to the enormity of it. And even that is, but divine spark, no light. No light. It's too small. So let your light shine. Don't hide it under a bushel basket, which is another one of those quotes. All right. Okay. Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. I will be back around 9 a.m. tomorrow. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved. And I will see you next time.